recording to start. We'll just have to bear with Grant tonight. He's also taking minutes. So we'll give him a chance to keep up. And this meeting is being recorded and we are live on YouTube. So it is 7:02 p.m. We can call to order. We have regrets from both Councillors Salatke and Wainman this evening, and we do have quorum. So we can move on to the adoption of the agenda. I don't believe there's any further changes. Does council have, or I guess we'll look for a mover first and then we'll look to see if there's any further changes. Moved by Councillor Wood and seconded by Deputy Mayor Barlock. Questions, additions, changes to the agenda?
And we're moving and seconding the one with 8.3 and 8.4 included.
Yeah, with the later additions that came in this afternoon.
Perfect.
All right, then I'll call to question. All in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest? See none. All right. Delegations, presentations, or petitions? We do not have any this evening. Maybe Grant, is there a reason GNAF is on the call?
Because of the request for donation.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. So is there any presentation to be made currently, or is it just under that item?
No, at this point, it's just a question of if council has any questions regarding, because we've already done sort of the formal donation. They're just asking for additional stuff.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then while we have you, SEO Hood, was there anything under public question period?
No, there was not.
All right, thank you. So move on to adoption of the minutes. Item 6.1, the minutes of the June 7th and 9th, 2021 council meeting. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Loreen. Questions, comments, discussion on the minutes? Deputy Mayor Barlock.
Thanks. Just with respect to 10.1, the planning development report about the development fee application by Parks Canada that was with their request denied by council, whether there's an opportunity for a refunding of that application fee. Do we have an answer for that yet?
I will ask SAO Hood.
Not at this point, because there was a waiting period as far as appeals go and things like that. So now we can research to find out if there would be or not. There is still a potential that there may be some sort of appeal or other things that they may be challenging.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think it would still be good to know, just in a general sense, in that situation, should it arise again, whether there's refund eligibility when there's a denial by council for conditional use.
Great. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any further questions, comments, discussion from the minutes? Seeing none, we'll call to a vote then. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. On to item 7.1, the action items list. Any questions, comments, or discussion here? Seeing none. And on to new business then. Item 8.1, the Great Northern Arts Festival request for donation. And we do have a representative from GNAF on the phone if there are any questions from council, but first we'll need to move the recommendation that Inuvik Town Council hereby approves an in-kind donation to the Great Northern Arts Festival for 2021 to include the following: donation of the Special Events Pavilion in Chief Jim Couey Park from July 10 to 16, 2021. May I have a mover, please?
I'll make that motion.
Made by Councillor Miro and seconded by Councillor Loreen. Questions, comments, discussion on the item?
Would I be correct in thinking this is for the shortened version of the Arts Festival this year, but in future years, potentially for the entire Arts Festival?
I can hazard a guess that yes, that's correct. But every year they come back to us with a fresh request, depending on, of course, what's needed in that year. So if Dieter wants to add anything, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, I just said.
Your sound is very low.
No, I can't hear him.
He's
Great.
muted himself now.
Yeah, you're muted, Dieter.
Sorry about that. Is that any better?
Not really. Yeah, we can't hear you at all. Do you have
I
the
guess-
phone information from the email that Grant would have sent? If you could just phone.
To maybe help answer the question as well, one of the things is it's an annual request, so each year maybe a little different as to what they need within the pavilion, if that's going to be what they're doing, because we're working on some of the pricing right now. It's for the trailer, portable stage, et cetera, et cetera. So each year, I think it would be an individual as to what they need. I'll just watch for him to come in.
Thank you.
Oh, oh.
You're not muted, Alana.
Otherwise,
Sorry, I
another
just
option
banged
is
my-
in the
Oh.
little mute button in the bottom left is a up arrow. In there, you can change your audio settings. You want to use your built-in microphone, built-in output. So, or use computer audio as an option. And that hopefully would free that up. So then if you have headphones plugged in like mine, as long as it has a microphone on, it should pick up through the microphone in your headphones.
You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing star 6. You have been added. You are unmuted.
You can mute your screen now because it's sending both. Okay. Oh, now we can't hear you though. Oh, now your phone is
Oh.
muted. So star 6 on your phone.
There you go.
Okay.
Woohoo!
All right. Sorry about that. I thought I didn't. Normally it works, I swear.
So were you able to hear Alana's question before?
No, could you repeat what
Sure.
the question was?
Am I right in assuming that you're asking it just for the shorter version of the Arts Festival this year, but in future years you might need it for the whole Arts Festival?
Right, exactly.
Okay. And you're using the pavilion as well as some of the facilities inside the rec center?
Yes.
Perfect. And is it 3 days this year, or how long are you doing it for?
Yes, it's 3 whole days with an opening ceremony the night before.
Okay. I'm glad you guys are able to do something in these COVID times.
Yeah, same here. And we're hoping, yeah, I mean, the artists we're definitely looking forward to it, of course, and we're hoping it'll be positive for everyone.
Are the artists limited to the NWT, or are the Yukon and Nunavut coming?
It's going to be all NWT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we have 33 confirmed coming. So quite a few, really. Because in 2019, we had 39 artists. So it's almost as big as it has been the past couple of years.
Okay. Well, thank you for finding a way to do it.
Oh, I'm happy that we're able to.
All right, thank you very much. Were there any
Yeah.
other questions from council? Seeing none. All right, thank you, Dieter, for finding the second way to get into the call.
Yes, thanks for watching my little comedy of errors there.
All good, we've all been there.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So with no further questions, then we will call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. So moved. And Dieter, you are free to go now if you like.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Right. Goodbye. On to item 8.2, request for approval for appointment of the FCM standing committees. Do I need to not be in this one?
Just for the public, could we explain what FCM means?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just wondering if I should have Deputy Mayor Barluck speak to this or if I can present it.
I
Because
think you
it's
can
about
present it because it's
me.
no different than
Okay.
appointing other council members to other committees and they sit in on
Okay.
that and express interest. So I don't see
All
any
right.
particular problem with it.
Okay, so the request before you is to approve my appointment to the FCM standing committees and forums. I have an application process to complete, and part of that process is an authorization from council or a letter that would allow me to join the board. A couple things here, financial implications. They do require that we say that the town will pay for any travel, but all three of the upcoming meetings are online. And so my inclination would be to do the online or virtual versions of those. So yes, I guess we'll put the motion on the table and then we can discuss further. So recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby authorizes Mayor Kulikowski to sit on the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, Communities and Committees and confirms that the town of Inuvik will cover the cost of her attendance at FCM standing committee and forums. If Mayor Kulikowski is not reelected, this appointment will be null and void. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Barluck, seconded by Councillor Levine. And now open to discussion, questions, if there are any. Councillor Wood.
Yeah, as far as traveling for the meetings, when I was president of NWTAC, I was a member of 9 different committees of FCM. I'd say 90% of the meetings were done by teleconference, and that was pre-COVID times. So there's really not a lot of in-person travel. And I really think this is going to be of benefit to the town. If nothing else, making familiar all gets from across the country. I'm sure that Mayor Kulikowski will have some valuable input and will stand up for the town in any event. So you have my well wishes and my support. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Councillor Wood. Any other questions or discussion?
Sorry, Mayor Kulikowski, I missed who the seconder was on that. You kind of faded out.
Councillor Lurie.
Thank you.
So if there are no further questions, then I will call to a vote. All in favor? Alana, I just need you to unmute, please.
Sorry, I was trying and it wasn't cooperating. Yes, I'm in favor. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to representing the town. And next we are on to 8.3, request for approval for the 2021 CPI funding contribution agreement. Recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby approves the contribution agreement with the Government of the Northwest Territories for community public infrastructure funding in the amount of $2,191,000. Look for a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Loreen. Open to discussion here. We did receive this quite late, so it was a late addition to the package. SAO Hood, I'm not sure if there was anything you wanted to present, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Sorry, no, at this point in time, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. These are the annual amounts that come in every year. You have a small increase on the CPI, plus a one-time top-up of the 337,000 at this point in time. Again, so next year it'll fall back unless something drastic happens in Yellowknife, back down to the 1.8 million.
Thank you. Were there any questions from council? None. All right, we can call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And next up, we have 8.4, contribution agreement for the federal gas tax funding, which I believe has a new pretty name, but I don't see it here. This was another late arrival that we did manage to get into the agenda. Recommendation here is that Inuvik Town Council hereby approves the contribution agreement with the Government of the Northwest Territories for gas tax funding in the amount of $2,810,000. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Barlock, seconded by Councillor Wood. Questions, comments, discussion? Deputy Mayor Barlock.
I guess, I mean, this is something that may go to the next council as well, but seeing as how this money is often used for the utilidor work, is there plans to potentially expand the work next year to use this money for that purpose? Or there's obviously a possibility the next council may decide to allocate some of it towards other things, but as of right now, that would be kind of the going plan, is just do a larger chunk of utilidor, barring no other significant changes in direction.
That's correct. The plan would be, I mean, obviously depends on the engineers as to, what the right length would be, but the plan would be to put it over to that. We don't have a whole lot of other projects that qualify under the under this. We may be able to, depending on what's happening with the because we can't use any other where we're having federal funding, so we have that 75% limit. So we, like, for example, we can't take it if we get the funding for the Rainette Road and use it for some of that, because we still have that 75% limit. So we have to be careful on and it is very specific as to what you can use gas tax money for.
And I guess just ballparking, would this be enough to cover the other two priority areas we have for the utilidor work? After this year's work, obviously down towards the water treatment plant, there's the trunk line up to the water tanks, and then the one over towards the hospital, I believe, are the next two priority areas. Would this be able to cover both of those, you think?
I'm not too sure. I think it would be a bit of a challenge. We may be able to do up to the water tank potentially, because we're looking at different options as not having to do the pilings and that, which saves a considerable amount of money. Again, going over to the hospital, we may be able to do a part of it, kind of a thing, depending on, it's certainly going to help speed up the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just know that was the one we're doing this year, the section, and then those other two sections were pretty high priority items. So the sooner we can get those two completed, I think the better. But if they can't do all of it in one season, I guess we'll have to get as much.
Yeah, there's all those complications of how many temporary items you need, how long of a construction, what you have to do. And so even if we have plenty of money, so to speak, we are limited to a few other items.
Yeah.
Logistical type items.
Human capacity to get the work done is another one too, I imagine.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Any other questions on this item? Seeing none, with that, we can call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And on to the bylaws, 9.1. This is third reading of the licensed premises bylaw. Recommendation is that town council hereby gives third and final reading to bylaw 2668 LNP 21, the licensed premises bylaw. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Loreen. Open to discussion here. Questions, comments? Deputy Mayor
I
Bartlett.
don't think, sorry.
Oh,
No, you go ahead, please.
I was just going to ask the question again. Have we received any community feedback on this at all, or has it gone pretty silent?
I have not received. Yeah, I have not received any community feedback. We did get one question from the liquor board, but that was more of a typo error between a cover letter, and that. But other than that, we have not heard anything.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Miro.
That was exactly my question. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So if there are no further questions, we will call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. So moved. Next up is 9.2, the annual tax levy bylaw. Recommendation here is that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives third and final reading to bylaw 2670, tax 21, the 2021 annual tax billing bylaw. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Barlock, and a seconder, seconded by Councillor Loreen. Questions, comments, discussion on the bylaw? Seeing none, we'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And on to item 9.3, the Water and Sewer Administration, Management and Operations bylaw. So this would be second and third reading after we completed first earlier in the year. Recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives second reading to bylaw 2657 UTIL 20, the Water and Sewer Administration bylaw, or sorry, Administration, Management and Operations bylaw. May I have a mover of second reading, please? Moved by Councillor Loreen, seconded by Councillor Wood. Questions, comments, discussion on the bylaw? Deputy Mayor Bartlett.
Nothing particular. I'll just say thank you for having a track changes version to highlight where the changes are made. I think we gave it a pretty good review last time. We got the clarifications we asked for, so I think this looks good to me in its current form. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anything further from council then? Seeing none, we can call to a vote. All in favor of second reading?
Yes.
So moved, thank you. And now on to third reading. A recommendation that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives third and final reading to bylaw 2657 UTIL 20, the Water and Sewer Administration, Management and Operations bylaw. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Barlock, seconded by Councillor Loreen. Any further questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, so we'll call to a vote. All in favor of third reading?
Yes.
Thank you, so moved. And next up, we have a bylaw to appoint a bylaw officer. Sorry, just a quick question, Grant. Should this read a municipal enforcement officer? Or is it still bylaw enforcement officer in the?
It has to read bylaw enforcement officers.
Okay.
That's how it's clarified, that appointments have to be in the CTV Act.
Okay, thank you. So recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2671 APP 21, a bylaw to appoint a bylaw enforcement officer. Moved by Deputy Mayor Barlock. And a seconder, please. By Councillor Loreen. Sorry, Grant, one more. Do we need to name who the person is? Because that's not in here.
We should. Was it not?
Okay.
So the motion would be to appoint Raven Firth as to the position of
I'll
bylaw
make an
enforcement
amendment
officer.
to my, I'll make an amendment to my motion to appoint Raven Firth as a bylaw enforcement officer.
Okay, thank you. All right, and so that, any comments, questions, discussion on the item then? Seeing none, we'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, Councillor Wood is frozen. Shall we give him a minute?
So even if we could unmute and do a verbal vote, if he's not totally frozen.
Have we confirmed he's frozen? Yes. Just kidding.
Claire, oh, there we go. He's back. All right. Just looking for your vote on that one. You are muted. You're in favor? All right, thank you. And now we'll move to second reading. So recommendation that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives second reading to bylaw 2671 APP 21, a bylaw to appoint Raven Firth as a bylaw enforcement officer. May I have a mover, please?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Loreen, seconded by Councillor Miro. Questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, we'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And on to item 10.1, the financial report as of May 31st. I will hand the mic over to SAO Hood to present his report as he is acting finance.
Well, I think the report's relatively self-explanatory. There is a few differences, and the budget numbers are based on the final budget that was just recently passed. But again, some of the where it comes down to is where some of the capital expenditures and the timing of getting some of the funding versus the expenditures. Also, usually by this time we have a bit more of the funding coming in, so that's where the big difference really is just in the capital expenditure side. On the actual operating, you can see that we're actually about $167,000 the surplus, or ahead of the perceived deficit to the end of May.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council? Seeing none. All right, with that, oh, I guess we better put it on the floor. Recommendation that Inuvik Town Council hereby adopts the financial report as of May 31st, 2021, as presented. May I have a mover, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Barlock and seconded by Councillor Wood. I do not believe there was any questions, so we can call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. We do information items tonight. There were none. The strategic priorities chart will make its return in July after administration has had a chance to update their side of things. So we can move on to council concerns. I would like to note that if you are driving out on the highway, you may notice that the new sign installation has begun. So that's some great news. Were there any other council concerns this evening? Deputy Mayor Barlick.
Excuse me, not a concern, just to thank you to the town staff for the work to do the opening of the special events pavilion. I think it was a very nice event. It was really great to see the celebration of light murals around there, and I see they've posted all 134 pictures up now. So kudos to the staff for taking care of all that and making sure everything worked well. And again, as I said there, thank you to them for all the hard work to secure the funding and to do all the planning and getting that pavilion into reality. So much appreciated. So thank you to the staff.
Great, thank you. I think that message is echoed by all of us in this room. So, all right, with that, we do have an in-camera item tonight. So I'll look for a motion to go in camera, please. Moved by Councillor Loreen and a seconder, Councillor Wood. All in favor?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we'll just take a moment to clear the room.